Business executives say trust accelerates the bottom line, but the gap is widening. A new survey from PwC found that 90% of business executives think customers highly trust their companies, while only 30% of consumers actually do. Now, the 60 percentage point gap is greater than the 57 points found in 2023 and 2022. For more on this, I'm joined by Wes Bricker, PwC US Trust Solutions Vice Chair, co-leader. Thank you for joining us this morning. So, as we talk about the trust issue, because I know the survey covered trust between employees and consumers as well. So starting with consumers, what are the key factors that you looked at when determining trust and why it's widened?
Well, good morning, Rochelle. What we looked at in the survey, this is our fourth annual survey, 5,000 business leaders, consumers, and employees. What we found was, just as you noted, the gap between where business leaders are, anticipate they are, and where consumers are, is widening a step. And we looked at the way consumers engage with companies and the experiences that they have, that's a window of opportunity for business leaders to really narrow the gap. And what we know from the survey information is that the more successful business leaders are in building trust with consumers, enables them to innovate and to deploy new products, new services in different channels, different territories, and really even innovate across their product set. So it matters. Trust really matters to the bottom line.
So how do they build that trust, Wes, if there is a widening gap here?
Well, so it starts with first identifying the importance of trust, and then also understanding who they're earning it from. And consumers, of course, are not uniform, and their needs and their expectations also are not uniform. So what we see in the survey is that stakeholder expectations really present a challenge which business leaders can meet by first identifying the importance of it, creating a plan, establishing clear ownership, which oftentimes looks like a team sport. It's not just one executive, it's a series of executives to know that they own listening to their consumers and then responding.
And Wes, I did think it was interesting in your note that it's showing the survey it's getting even harder to earn trust. What do you attribute that to? Is this about a lot of misinformation out there, perhaps some things getting lost in translation and communications, or in how we advertise to consumers? What's the special sauce here that's not working?
Well, today's business environment is fast moving. We certainly see that on topics like AI. Take AI, for example, it's got real potential to transform customer experiences and the nature of products and services. So it's a real opportunity, but it also comes with the need to not leave trust out of the equation. And what that really looks like, as we saw in the survey data, it starts with data, being clear with consumers, the data, the role of customer information, really protecting it, and then also being clear and transparent about the way AI is being governed, the way AI is being used with transparency. That's an area where business leaders can incorporate into their planning beyond just the day-to-day, which of course is important, but looking at the opportunities of technology, of climate, and other things to really get a handle on that, Rochelle.
So it's the lack of transparency? Is that what it is that consumers are saying they don't necessarily trust companies on?
Well, it's certainly an area where companies are hearing from consumers that they want more. Consumers in wanting to understand data privacies, also wanting to understand as they engage with consumers, how is information, their expectations being met, especially when things go wrong, as they sometimes do. Consumers have an expectation, one of being heard, and then for the value proposition to be restored. And that might be in a pricing conversation, it might be quantity of goods. The complexity of running business today is in understanding the different needs across a stakeholder group, and then being clear about what's being done to address issues whenever a product or a service may fall short.
And Wes, I see in the data that 94% of business executives surveyed say they face at least one risk if stakeholders don't trust their company. And in terms of stakeholders, we're talking customers, employees, and investors as well. How are business executives addressing these trust deficits there?
Well, trust deficits, one, start with identifying what we're doing and where we're falling short. That's the deficit part. And then having a clear plan and ownership to move forward. Moving forward oftentimes looks like being transparent. One of the issues that we see coming through the survey, one of the top issues that consumers want to better understand is the supply chain point and pricing. How's the pricing of goods and services as it comes into our products? How's that being transmitted? Is it being transmitted in terms of additional price? Is it being transmitted into an adjustment of quantity? Maybe it's a mixture of both. So those are business issues that really get to build the opportunity to build trust with customers through transparency and being clear about that bargain or a deficit that's being created and needs to be recovered.